The job search process is horribly broken. Employers need the people who have the skills, knowledge, and experience to do the job. Your ability to write a resume that makes it through whatever screening they do is completely irrelevant. Employers know this, yet they keep doing the same thing. It's like those Godzilla movies where the Japanese military send out the tanks and the planes to try to stop him. They know full well it ain't going to work, but that's all they know how to do. We're not going to solve that problem on this video, but I'll give you the exact steps that result in a resume that will get you to a person you can talk to. This is what we're going to cover. First, why use AI in the first place? Next, how you can use expertise not already in ChatGPT or Gemini to create a resume that's a fantastic match for a specific job listing. Then, another way that helps you see what the AI is actually doing using Claude. I also discovered something important about additional information you should give the AI that you probably haven't thought of. This will help you a lot. Cover letters. There's a much better use for them than sending them off. And the big benefit. This process will give you a new confidence and pride in yourself, and that's something that will make your interview sing. Are you ready? Let's go. So, it's a Tuesday morning 3 months ago. I've been trying to meet with my new boss for weeks, and he's finally sent me an invite for a Zoom call. We start, and I go, I know I've sent you slides, but I have updated ones. Just then, someone from HR joins the room. And all I can say is, oh. After 9 years as a top performer there, I'm getting laid off over a Zoom call. I walk out in a daze. I haven't looked for a job in years. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to use models like ChatGPT and Gemini to create a resume. But what they know about resumes is what they've read on the entire internet. Some of that will be crap advice. So how much will AI truly help? Books, courses, and experts help, but they will tell you that you need to tailor your resume to each job you apply to. That's hard, and doing that for every application is going to be a killer. You need an AI that can provide expert help. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and so forth are general models. They know something about everything. But for your career, you're going to want help from a career expert, not a Jeopardy game show champion. We're going to extend what the AI knows with knowledge from resume experts, people who have taken the time to provide AI with the specific knowledge they have for writing a resume. It's like in the movie The Matrix where they plug Neo in and he downloads a computer program into his brain and he immediately knows Kung Fu. This won't be that cool, but you get the idea. So we'll start with ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, these extensions are called GPTs. So let's fire up ChatGPT. I found that sometimes GPTs can be found in the left sidebar, and sometimes you have to actually go to chatgpt.com/GPTs. I don't know why it doesn't always show up in the sidebar. Let's look for something about resumes. Okay, here's a few. There's one that has over 12 million conversations, and that looks promising. Let's take a closer look. Okay, it has a 4.4 star rating. It's number 4 in the education category, and those 12 million conversations. Seems like a good place to start. I've already had a conversation using this GPT. The first thing is to find out what it actually does. Now, I have a resume that an AI created for me, but it's not tailored to a specific job, and that's what I want. I had this AI create this resume before I left my prior job. One thing I made sure to do as I left was to get coworkers to write LinkedIn recommendations for me. I'll talk more about that later, but I ask if an AI can use those somehow to improve my resume, and it says yes, and why. Now, I'm on the free plan for ChatGPT, and you can only upload a few documents before it says you've got to wait several hours before you do more. So I just copied and pasted the text from PDFs and Word docs into that chat to get around this. This is a pro tip. You can use that for any AI that has that kind of limit on attachments. My recommendations really add something, and it's going to be able to use them to create a stronger resume. It highlights a gap between my resume and the job listing, and then it generates a draft resume. and it explains exactly what it did and a recommendation for a new section. As you can see from the scroll bar on the right, this conversation went on for a while, but in the end, I got 2 resumes that were very good. One was a short one tailored to pass the automated ATS scanners, and the other was a longer one designed to be read by a hiring manager. Google's Gemini has something similar to GPTs, Gems. Unlike ChatGPT, you can't find ones created by the community in Gemini itself, so they can be a bit harder to find. But the Gemini team itself has created one for general career guidance. They probably made this really good so that they can show their AI model is the best. You can find Gems by clicking on the gear icon at the bottom. If you can't find Gems, you might have to hunt around for it. So here is that career guide gem. And again, I've already had a conversation with this gem, so we'll look at that. Okay, it looks over my resume and the job description and tells me the plan for improving it. I give it the recommendations, and again, it says these are a gold mine and says these insights changes the game. It proceeds to start working on subtopic 1. I'm not going to go through this chat. I just want to show you how to get to Gemini's equivalents of GPTs. As with anything AI produces, you've got to closely inspect it. You don't want it overselling you and saying things that aren't true, and you should probably rewrite it in your own words. You might have the concern that you don't know exactly what GPTs and Gems are doing under the hood. If you want to know the thought process, there's another way to create a resume, and that involves what are called skills. Skills are simply text files where the text is like prompts. And while you can't find these within the app like we did with GPTs, these are everywhere. A web search will bring up lots. You can see there are plenty of skills available. I'm going to use Claude for this, and the skill I decided on is this one. Here's a brief description of what this skill does. And this file, skill.md, is the actual skill. We can see what's in it and what will be given to the AI. You can read through it and understand exactly what the thought process is. I copied and pasted the contents of that skill.md file into Claude, uploaded my resume, job listing, and recommendations, and it gives me a draft resume. That's too early, and the resume isn't very good. I want to have a conversation. I'm going to skip to one part of this conversation that I think is telling. It suggested this line identifies what an organization needs before it knows, and I tell it that I approve and why. It gets it and responds with, "That's a sharp reframe." So it's giving me ideas, and I'm giving it some too. I'm not just giving it stuff and it's spitting out the answer. We are working together. I'm not going to go through this, but you can see we had a long discussion, and the resulting 2 resumes, again, one short and one long, were exceptional. I really like this. I formed a partnership with AI, not just used it as a tool. This is a subtle but important distinction. I've written about this in detail on Substack. If you're interested, I've got a link to my Substack in the description below. This partnership allowed me to learn more about myself. See, I was originally concerned about my weaknesses. This conversation helped me see myself in a new light. I went from focusing on my weaknesses to being proud and confident about my strengths. I started this process with a resume. It was generated with AI, but as we saw, there was a lot of room for improvement. And now that AI learned so much about us, can we use that knowledge for something more? This video started with highlighting the absurdity of the job search process. And if it wasn't already bad enough, no one told you of the importance of getting recommendations to creating a great resume. At least I hadn't heard this before. So how are you supposed to know? That's one reason why I'm making this video for you. I was lucky that I had asked people for recommendations. You should do this too. You've seen what a huge difference it makes. And this can be one of your secret advantages over everyone who didn't watch this video. Now, a couple of notes about this. If you're secretly looking for a job, asking for recommendations might tip your coworkers off. So you might just want to ask them for feedback. Tell them you can learn a lot more about your strengths and weaknesses from other people's perspectives. If they're squeamish about giving you frank feedback, create a SurveyMonkey survey and tell them they can be anonymous. Now, if you have been laid off, Or given notice you will be, just ask for the recommendations straight up, preferably on LinkedIn. That will encourage them to write positive things about you. And that's what we really what we want. We want useful info for the AI to supplement your resume with. Most people won't know immediately what to write, and a blank page can intimidate everyone. So give them suggestions on things that they can talk about. Help jog their memory. That's what I did. What else to give the AI? The job listing will name the company, but it might be worthwhile to explicitly tell the AI to take information about that employer into account. It's easy to do and might provide additional info for the AI to exploit. Now let's talk about cover letters. I've never really thought these to be useful, but this exercise had me change my mind. You just spend time helping AI learn more about you. You can leverage that to create a letter. Now, I'm still not sold on sending that letter, but I think it can provide useful talking points for you during interviews. And there's the motivational aspect to recommendations and cover letters. We're all too critical of ourselves, and many of us aren't reliable at understanding what our true worth is. Let your coworkers and AI show you how great you are. And that brings me to my final point. I experienced a bona fide transformation from dreading a job hunt and the feeling of anxiety to being fascinated, learning about myself, and feeling proud of what I uncovered. A job search really can be as exciting as shopping for your new life. Two big things stuck out for me. First is the importance of providing AI with sufficient context. I already had an AI-generated resume, but adding in the context of the job listing and those recommendations made a huge difference. Whatever you are doing with AI, provide it with as much relevant context as you can. Second, partnering with AI is far more powerful and enjoyable than treating it like a tool. This went from completing an unpleasant task to a voyage of self-discovery that ended at a destination of confidence. You don't get too many trips like that in everyday life. I've shown you step by step how you can get a much better resume than everyone else. Fire up AI right now and start following the steps. If you can't at this moment, use the save feature on YouTube so you can come back to this clip. As always, if this video was helpful, a like, comment, or share helps me a lot. Hey, if you find a skill you like better than the one I shared, put that in the comments so other viewers can benefit. And subscribing ensures you get more helpful, actionable guides like this. Thanks for watching. Get started on supercharging your resume, and I'll see you next time.